Welcome back. This is Metropole Business Center and this is Gadget Review with me, Ian Obila. So today we're going to be looking at the top 10 most stable gadgets of 2020. To start us off, we have the Samsung Galaxy. Metropole Business Center. This is Gadget Review with me, Ian Obila. Now, today we're going to be looking at the top 10 most stable gadgets of 2020. And to start us off, we have the Samsung Galaxy S10/S10 Plus. This gadget was released on March 2019, weighing in at about 157 grams. So this device sports a 149 by 70.4 by 70.8 millimeter screen. It runs an Android 9 operating system with a 6.1 or an optional 6.4-inch screen with a resolution of about 1440 by 300, I beg your pardon, by 3040. The CPU sports a Snapdragon 855 or an optional Exynos S820. Now this device has a 12 GB of RAM and sports 128 internal storage. The battery is a 3400 milliamperes device battery. Now the rear camera is an impressive 12 megapixel with a 16 megapixel wide angle camera and a 12 megapixel front camera. This also sports a 10 megapixel front camera plus an 8 additional megapixel. So for those who are willing to cop this device, it retails for about $628, which translates to roughly 68,670.73 Kenyan shillings. So if you're in the market for a new device, the Samsung Galaxy S10 is the best smartphone available right now. And that covers both the S10 and the larger Galaxy S10 Plus, as there's a very little difference. So the very best of this device is that it's actually the best smartphone in the market. I know that the iPhone 12 just released latest about a month ago, but we're looking at the most stable gadgets, and 2020 spotted rather a dip in gadget production, but this device sports a Super AMOLED display that has been measured as the very best around, with super colors, great dynamic range, and essentially the very best viewing experience you can have on any mobile phone. And it also has a larger battery and more camera shooting modes. A crisper screen makes this a notable upgrade to the Galaxy S9, which previously held the top spot. So as we go through this device, we can see that it has the best screen around. It has excellent cameras, but it's not exactly cheap, and the device offers very little grip. So that was the Galaxy S10. The best laptop of this year is the Dell XPS 13. Which sports an 8th generation Intel Core i5 or an optional Core i7. So this sports Intel UHD Graphics 620 card with a 8 GB RAM to 16 GB, which is optional. So the screen is a 13.3-inch Full HD, that is 1920 by 1080p. It also sports an optional 4K, which is about 3840 by 2160 pixel count. So it sports a 1 terabyte of internal storage and also a 256 GB card internally. So for those looking to buy this laptop, it retails for about $1,149, which translates to about 597 Kenya shillings. Well, they didn't say this device comes cheap. So the Dell XPS 13 has been a regular of best laptops list for years, but the Huawei Notebook X actually did knock it off its list for a short period in the 2019 run, and the 2019 model is a true return to form. It retains everything we've come to love from Dell's flagship 13-inch, from the gorgeous and light design to the powerful modern components that power it. So the Dell XPS 13 rocks an 8th generation Intel Core i5 to i7 processor and a bezel-less Infinity Edge display. So this Dell XPS 13 continues to be the most popular Windows laptop in the world. You also get a longer battery life, and in this year's model, a centered webcam for the first time. The battery life is actually better than ever, and the 29 update isn't huge, and it's a bit expensive. But hey, I guess the best always costs more. we cross over to the best television of 2020, which is the Samsung XQ90R QLED TV. That's actually released in 2019. So this is a bright and beautiful and able to take an OLED screen display. This costs around $2,997.99 on Amazon for those who are willing to cop this device, and that translates to roughly 327,710 Kenya shillings. So that's last year, and the Samsung QF9 was the best TV to beat. I know we're in 2020, but 2019 was a great year for gadgets, and that's why this device makes it on this list. However, it wasn't perfect, and there were legitimate complaints about viewing angles and an over-aggressive local dimming system that crashed details just above black. So Samsung has clearly taken these criticisms to heart, thank you Samsung, and directly addressed them in the Q90. The new model has a visibly superior viewing angle that holds its own against an OLED TV, and the local dimming delivers deep blacks without losing shadow detail. To the end, the new Ultra Black Elite filter is nothing short of a revelation, rejecting ambient light in the way that staggers belief. The Q90 is able to deliver images that can directly compete with an OLED, with natural colors, bright highlights, deep blacks, and well-defined shadows. And it can also surpass any OLED when it comes to HDR, with images that are often breathtaking in their detail and dynamic range. So sadly, the Q90 does not support Dolby Vision. However, in all other respects, the Samsung Q90 is absolutely stellar TV that makes QLED to another level. So running this device, through this device, we see that it has superb picture quality, wider viewing angles, but supports no Dolby Vision. For those people who are wondering what Dolby Vision is, this is a proprietary dynamic HDR format developed by Dolby Labs by adjusting the picture on the scene by scene and even frame by frame basis. It lets you see more detail with better color accuracy, and it's constantly making adjustments so that each image on the screen is optimized, but there's no more to that. The next device we're going to be reviewing is the Nintendo Switch. Switch Lite for those who want a smaller device. So this is a hybrid option, and it sports 4 by 9.5 by 5.4 inch form factor. This is the length, the width, and the depth. So it also features Joy-Cons and features a 768 megahertz GPU, which is actually docked. But optionally, you can have a 307.2 megahertz undocked NVIDIA custom Tegra. That's actually more RAM on my laptop. So the RAM on this device is actually 4 GB, and the maximum resolution is docked at 720p, sadly. We have no optical drive on this device, but it has a 32 GB expandable memory, a portable battery life, approximately 3 to 7 hours. So this device retails at about $368 US, which is about 40,226 Kenyan shillings, give or take, according to the latest exchange rate. So with the PS4 and the Xbox One both nearing the end of their reign, and the next generation replacement set to dominate the living room when they launch in late 2020, which is actually really soon, that transitional period will actually mean that the handheld home console hybrid Nintendo Switch and also its handheld-only sibling, the Switch Lite, are really the best choices for a new console right now. So unless the PS5 or the Xbox Series actually final release, they offer a distinctly different experience from mainstream and mainline Sony and Microsoft consoles, which are the PS5 and the Xbox currently. So at a lower price and hugely conveniently portable play form factor. Add to that the host of first-party Nintendo exclusives, which include Breath of the Wild, Super Mario, Odyssey, and the third-party indie games that slot perfectly onto the console. So this console has a compact screen, and you've got yourself a very good time spender on your hands. So running through this device, we see that it has a portable home console form factor. It also has great first-party adjustable exclusive features, and we also see that it's not as powerful as other home consoles, and it's only sports a bare bones online service, but the quirks actually are outweighed by the advantages. So the next device we're going to be looking at is the Fitbit Charge 3. So if you want to take charge of your fitness with the best tracker, well, this device is for you. It stocks a screen and is actually waterproof. So it has activity tracking and also does not include GPS. The battery life is roughly about 6 days, and the compatibility is compatible with Android or iOS devices. This device retails at about $99 and roughly this translates to 109,229 Kenya shillings. And actually, you will find that this device is low on stock. So if you want to grab the Nintendo Switch, please run to the stores while stocks last. We see that this is more refined than the Fitbit 2, and the Charge is only one of the company's most accomplished devices. It has a more lightweight design than the last generation, and it looks better on your wrist. It's our #1 all-round fitness tracker here at Metropole, actually, because most people are into fitness and it gets great reviews. So recently, it offers a lot of insight into your overall health. There's no onboard GPS, and it doesn't have more experimental device. So this guides the previous winner of this slot with actually fitness devices was the Move Now, but it has actually been overtaken by the Charge 3. And it, however, does not offer a full fitness suite, including a heart rate tracker. It's, however, waterproof. Running through this device, we see that it's light in design. It has a large screen, but does not support onboard GPS, and the screen is actually not color. So we might be looking at a monochrome display at this point of view. The next device we're going to be looking at is actually the Nikon Z6. So this is a new full-frame mirrorless camera and is the pick of the bunch when you come to cameras in 2020. It sports a full-frame CMOS sensor and is actually a 24.5 megapixel resolution camera. So it has 273 points of autofocus and sports a 3-inch screen tilt angle, which is actually touch. It has a maximum continuous shooting speed over 12 frames per second, and it can actually record movies at 4K and 30 frames per second. So it's an enthusiast stroke expert camera and retails at about $1,796, which translates to 424 Kenya shillings, according to the latest exchange rate. So the Nikon Z6 is one of the newest cameras, and we've had the pleasure to actually look at it on this segment, and it matches youth with excellent usability. It also is a full-frame mirrorless camera, and it ticks all the boxes and features for performance and price. And with a 24.5 megapixel sensor, it offers superb color reproduction, pin-sharp detailing. For the wobbly-handed, there's a 273-point autofocus system to get those stable shots, and sports a 12 frames per second shooting mode for burst. Every moment that is captured fast will be captured stellarly on this device. So along with these smart touches, it's ergonomically designed, easy in the hand with sensibly placed controls and a massive EVF. If you're already in the Nikon train, well, you'll be pleased to hear that the simple FZD adapter will let you mount all your F-mount lenses and it'll work just fine. So whether a pro or enthusiast, this is the camera for you. So quickly running through this device, it has refined handling, it has great image quality, limited buffer depth though, and it doesn't support SQD. Moving on real quick, we have the iPod Pro 11, which is actually from 2018, but it's actually quite stable. So this is the best tablet you can buy right now, and it weighs in at 467 grams. It supports iOS 12 operating system, and it is an 11-inch screen. The CPU is an A12X Bionic, designed by Apple, of course, and it supports a 12 GB to 12 TB micro SD slot. The battery is a 7,812 milliampere and sports a 12 megapixel rear camera. So running through this device, you can see it retails at about $799, which is roughly 87,000 Kenya shillings. And the pencil quickly clips on, and it has an insane amount of power for a tablet. But the software limits laptop experience, and if money is truly no object, I think this is the device to actually buy. Moving on, we have the Samsung Galaxy watch. Samsung Galaxy actually contends with one of the items that we had actually reviewed, which is the Fitbit, but it actually sports a color screen, as you can see. So for those looking to cop a device that can help them in fitness and other day-to-day tasks such as light office management or other, going onto the internet, this is a device for you. And we can see that it is actually released by Samsung, and the sporty Samsung watch gained some style from the design by Samsung, but it actually has 4 days of battery life and has Wi-Fi connectivity. Moving on to the next device, we have the Valve Index. The Valve Index is actually the best VR headset of 2020 and has next generation VR. It retails at about 242,000 Kenya shillings and has an ultra crisp display that runs fairly well even with older GPUs, has a wilder field of view, a higher refresh rate, and Valve's knuckle controls, which actually is able to take tactile response from your hands, which enhances your VR experience. So there's no doubt that the Valve Index will be our default VR headsets for all those who are actually enthusiastic about virtual reality. The next and final top device on this list is the Sony WH1000XM3. So this is actually a wireless Bluetooth headset and sports very interesting features. As we all know that Sony is a headliner when it comes to the release of headphones, but this actually takes the top spot for the best headphone of 2020. The Sony WH1000XM3 actually comes with more padding so that it's easier on your ears and will be the best pick if you are looking for a device for media consumption or listening to that properly mastered audio. So the Sony 1000XM3 wraps up this day's edition of Gadget Review. This has been a very interesting segment, and I'm glad that you joined me on this segment. Right now, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back with Metropole Business Center with Fred McCory.